So a few weeks ago, I posted in the Apple II enthusiasts Facebook group on some 3D printing work that I've been doing with some Apple IIe replacement parts like key stems and things like that. And someone commented that they would like to see a replacement 3D printed hinge for the Apple IIe color monitor. And I thought about that and I thought, yeah, that would be a good idea. And it turns out I happen to have a bunch of old Apple IIe color monitors in storage that I haven't actually gone through yet. But I think of all the color monitors I have, this one is the only one that actually has a front panel to it. So it seems to me you're luckier to have a front panel than you are to have a hinge. But but I thought I'd give it a shot. So I pulled this out of storage and I opened up the front panel and I took off the hinges. And I happen to have all three original injection molded ABS hinges here. And you can see on the original hinge, it's just a bend in the plastic. There's no hinge mechanism per se. And I knew right away that if I tried to 3D print something exactly like that, it just wasn't going to work. With the 3D printed ABS, you might get 25 or 50 iterations before it fails. So I figured I needed to come up with something better. So I did. I came up with a pin and socket type arrangement. So it's printed in two parts and they just snap together like so. And so here I've 3D printed three distinct hinges. And they just pop together like that. And it only took a few iterations before I actually got the fit correct. This was a fairly complicated model to work out. I do all my work in FreeCAD, by the way, if you're curious, but it turned out to be a fairly complicated model to work out, one of the more complicated ones I've done. But it actually didn't take terribly long to come up with it. And it seats quite firmly in the original sockets. Now, what I found is that in order to remove that, if ever there's a reason to, you have to use like a needle nose pliers or something to actually pull it out, which is a shame because you kind of risk damaging it when you do. And the reason for that is that these are PLA instead of ABS. ABS is just too soft. I tried ABS at first and it just was too soft. But the injection molded hinges are ABS and they kind of squeeze into form a little bit, so they slide in and out a little more easily than these do. But all the same, these seat in here quite firmly, quite well. And there's a little bit of rigidity to the hinge, so it'll hold its position. There's not a lot. It moves pretty freely, just like these do. They're pretty floppy. But there is a little bit of rigidity to those hinges. But once you get them in place, just kind of line up the panel slots with them. There we go. And they pop on, just like that. And then the hinge is on. You can close the door, and it works pretty well. And if you take a look at the bottom, I'll have to adjust the camera here. Balance it on the cord, that's not good. Take a look at the bottom. You can see that the hinges are recessed nicely. They don't stick out or anything, and they seem to fit really well in the original spot, in the original holes. So I really think this is going to be a good drop-in replacement then for those original hinges. So there you have it.